Coach, again, we've talked about it on the radio, how it continues to be a very competitive first half, and then down the stretch in the second half, it just seems like things get out of the tank on you. But again, it's hard when teams are making their shots, especially as they did 3-point today. At 30% coming into today, they shoot 54%. They got their confidence early, and the 3-point shooting, I think, just really lifted them to go on to the 20-point win throughout the whole first and second half.
Well, they shot the ball better than they usually do. But to be honest with you, a lot of that has to do with us. I give them credit for playing well. They had some guys step up, especially the big kids inside. We didn't think they could score that way, but their size. I know Brandon Knox had a career high. If you look at the stat sheet, you see season high 54% from the fields, season high first career double-double on Brandon Knox, season high in points. And our problems are on the defensive end of the floor, and people get their confidence against us, and that's not good. So we're going to keep. We've been working and working at it. This was the same problem this team had prior to this staff getting here, and it's something that we got to continue to work on to try to fix because we are not a good defensive ball club. And we got to find a way to fix that before we go into the conference.
Well, we all believe coming into this game, Coach Jeff Lebo wanted to at least try to exploit the front line and maybe advantages he thought he had there. And, of course, they did that. Everything went inside and then out. And then you double that. It's almost gravy to shoot 54% from three-point land because, again, the big guys had success. Coming to mind, Hargrove, wherever he took the pass, whether he was 20 feet away or 15, he drove right to the basket and more times than not got the high percentage shot to go down.
I got to commend them. I mean, they did a good job. They did a good job attacking us inside. They knew they were bigger and stronger and longer, and they exploited that. But our first season is over. We got some grand deficiencies on the defensive end of the floor. We played a very, very difficult schedule, probably the 55th toughest schedule in the country. We played 7 of our last 8 games on the road, which is difficult to do. It'll be good to get to January and get 6 out of 8 of home games so we can get our feet up on us and get some confidence again, because when you lose games like this, it's human nature to lose your confidence, and we got to keep fighting against that also.
People, of course, will look and coach it, and I want to get your thoughts on this because you played and were so reliable as a collegiate player for Georgia Southern, and sometimes you get close to a point where you feel like maybe you're carrying too much or you try to carry too much. I wanted to get your thoughts on Willie Powers, who early on in this season had done everything so well, and then over these last 2 games just looked like things did not go his way, and it's been very difficult for him, and I know that's one you have to be concerned about because for this team to be successful, like several others, Willie Powers has to play well for him.
Yeah, he's going through a tough part, a tough span right here, but that's part of basketball. You have ups and downs, and we got to help him get through that through film and just spending time with him, getting in the gym, and make sure he doesn't lose his confidence. He had a tough game today, but he's, for the most part, he's done a tremendous job coming off of knee surgery, helping his team. Our problems are not Willie Powers. Our problem is on the defensive end of the floor. We got to find a way to be more physically imposing. Teams can't come play Georgia Southern and feel like we're going to get our career high today. And right now, that's the sentiment. And we got to become nastier. We got to become tougher. We got to become more physical. We got to become a better defensive team. And we just got to work on that around the clock.
I know that we've talked about it before, and I know it's been a concern of you on the offensive end also, and that's on the point and missing those easy shots we're not able to convert or haven't been converting with some of the guys underneath, and I know that's been a concern. How do you do that? How do you get, is it just a confidence deal with these guys that they're not just finishing the shot?
Yeah, and we don't see that type of length and size every day. So when you see it in the game that shocks you, we can pull out the blocking dummies and try to beat them up, go into the basket and get out the brooms to try to simulate that. But it's nothing you can. It's nothing to the actual game length, and that's why playing in these games can help you. We're down the line if you mess around and get into the NCAA tournament. At least you've seen it before. But we missed a lot of bunnies and chip shots today. I would bet we had our worst day from the foul line, which kind of shocked me because we have been gradually getting better from the foul line. Couldn't believe that we shot that poorly from the foul line today. So we're gonna keep working. That's all we can do, and we're not gonna lay it down. And we got Chattanooga coming in at home. It's been 100 years since we played in our home field house, and we're gonna try to defend our living room.
there's one thing that I do want to mention, and talking about a positive on the inside, I'm continuing to be impressed by Cam Baskersville and how he's starting to grow in his role and what he is doing underneath, just being a freshman in there. Looks like he's starting to come of age a little bit and maybe get that leadership role that you've been looking for underneath.
Yeah, slowly but surely, and he's a freshman, and bless his heart, he's doing all he can as a young pup coming in to help this team. Talk about being concerned about Willie. I'm really more concerned about Cam and Roy Spencer. They carried so much of the load early, played so many minutes, so many practice reps. So I'm trying to make sure that they haven't burnt out. So we got to get them and manage them the right way through practice and games, and make sure at the end of the year they still got their legs in to help us. A junior college player and a freshman, they usually hit the junior college wall or the freshman wall. And I think both of those guys have hit that a little bit, but they'll both come out.
Coach, real quickly before we let you go, the third SEC team this season here against Auburn. You took on NC State out of the ACC, and I know you and I and John have talked about, to those listening out there, 3 seasons within a season, and this one just finishing. But more importantly, not for the fans and not for the media, but about the guys that are back there in this locker room, how important is it for them to take that, believe that, and change things coming up on Wednesday, that this season far from being over for this squad?
It's critical. You look at teams at the mid-major level all over the country. I think Davidson in our conference is probably 3-9 or 3-10 or 4-10. You look at Chattanooga last year, starting out 0-9 or 1-9. They wound up being 18-17 and making it to the NCAA tournament. So we played a tough schedule. It's good preparation. We should be battle tested. We won't face this type of length and size in our conference. But we do have to become more physical, because we're going to face some teams like Davidson or Citadel that are this physical. Chattanooga will be a physical bunch and play hard bunch. So, again, getting home and playing on our home court, staying home, not being on the bus 5-6 hours to go play last 7 out of 8 games, it'll be good for our guys physically and mentally not to have to do that.
Coach, well, we thank you for your time. Another difficult day here, but finally it looks like we're headed back home for the first time since December 15th. Get them back home safely, and we'll talk to you at the beginning of the week.
Thank you very much.